holding by a string just over there. New Zealand version will get a bigger screen. And handling on these corners are surprisingly so well. Hey guys, this is Jerry, welcome to the channel. Today we're driving the Volkswagen ID.Buzz. What a cool van we are going to get in New Zealand here. We are seeing this example as an ex-UK import, so it's not going to be the same as the New Zealand version. I'm going to put the full disclaimer out here, just so we know some of the things we will see in this particular video are not going to be the New Zealand example, let's be honest. But at least we are going to have a general look on how the ID.Buzz looks like and how it's going to drive on the road. Let's step outside and talk about the exterior. So this is the short or normal wheelbase, and again it's a UK version. At the front of the grille, everything is going to be identical to the New Zealand versions, and in terms of look, two-tone color finish and things like that. But the two-tone has a surcharge, by the way. This is in a 19-inch wheels. No, I was wrong, 21-inch on this one. In New Zealand versions, you'll be able to choose from 19 to 21, depends on the spec, depends on the options you are going for. From the look, it's sportsy, it's really sharp looking. It is one of the best looking vans or cargo vans on the market. Speaking of cargo ones in New Zealand, there will be two ID.Buzz available. So one is the ID.Cargo, so it's going to be vans at the back, 3 seats or 2 seats at the front. Or another one is going to be the standard ID.Buzz, which we call it ID.Buzz Pro or ID.Buzz GTX. So that's going to be like your people mover. You can choose anywhere between 5 to 6 to 7 seats. You can also choose a short wheelbase and another long wheelbase. It's going to be stretched longer than this. That creates the 7 seats option for you. In terms of the exterior dimension, the ID.Buzz short wheelbase and also the ID.Buzz Cargo is going to be finished at 4.71 meters long, where the long wheelbase 7-seat version of the ID.Buzz is going to be over 4.96 meters long. So just literally under 5 meters for the whole length. It is a smaller vehicle compared to the traditional Volkswagen multivan, either the T6 or the T7. It's going to be a little bit different from here and there. The width of this car is quite wide. It's over 2.1 meters long, and that means the height of this vehicle is just under 1.9 meters. The wheelbase is really long though. The wheelbase, even on the short wheelbase version, is going to be close to a 3-meter wheelbase, where the long wheelbase will be over 3.11 meters. So it is not a small van, more of a medium to large size van overall. So the design language at the front, I really love this smiley face. It looks really cool actually. Volkswagen logo in the center, a smiley logo on the side. Kind of reminds me from the cartoon Cars and things like that. Yeah, it's cute. I would say this is really cute. Of course, at the same time, it's unique. There's no large grille apart from the underneath the mesh and things like that. We can actually open the bonnet, if it's still called bonnet. Let's put that way. So it is more of a flap, just like this, holding by a string just over there. There'll be some electronics that we don't want you to touch. The windscreen wiper, wash fluid is over there. When it's opened up, it looks like this. It looks silly, but again, cute at the same time. And if you want to close that, just push all the way. What a cool design. The front wiper is also really cool. You can see the wiper blades goes sideways instead of traditional, like both ways in one direction, things like that. So yeah, there are definitely many unique things about this vehicle. Another thing I should mention, I'm not sure how do we classify this. Let's say if this is the A pillar, should we classify this as a B pillar, or should we classify that as a B pillar? So that creates a big room at the front. Normally when you drive a vehicle or van, your tires are sort of sitting here, but on this car, it's sitting all the way at the front. That creates a big long wheelbase for a big size battery, of course. Another sidelines over here, so square boxy shape behind it. There are some IQ lights. All the New Zealand new versions will get matrix LED headlights at the front. A big running bars at the back, of course. The charging port is located on the driver side for this UK version. CCS, Type 2, and is available. Next is the tailgate. This particular vehicle has a manual tailgate, but the New Zealand ID.Buzz will have a power lift tailgate. After opening the tailgate, we are going to find more than 1,100 litre space when it's 5-seater configuration. If you do have the 7 seats, I'm not sure how it looks like. You are going to lose a little bit space on the third row. When the third row all the way up, you probably get somewhere around 300 something litres of boot space. But if you drop the seat, still gonna be massive. Like, it's boxy, it's so huge. This is like a much bigger than any people move out there into the space, because the height, the square cut and things like that. The loading is really low. You actually have to bend it down to touch this. Charging cable is obviously going to be included in the New Zealand version, but will be different cables, I assume. 12-volt socket over here. Again, some specification may not be going to be the same. Trims over here, white color on top. This hook not going to be there in the New Zealand version, but the parcel shelf will be there, I suppose. But anyway, this is huge. Next thing is the second row. This only has manual tailgate, but don't worry, the New Zealand version will have power tailgate on the standard ID.Buzz. The windows can also be opened from the New Zealand version, but the spec cannot be opened. Anyway, step inside, there's a small hook on the top. You can pull this, so the seats are tilted all the way backwards. You can slide this forward backwards. This is my sitting position at about 178 centimeters tall. I've got really good amount of room. Look how much room I have, look how much room I have on my feet. The side is wide, it's really spacious. You can adjust the back angle, of course, and it's gonna be really squeegee for someone to sit inside. There is no armrest on this version. I'm not sure about the New Zealand version, it will be the same or not. Tray on the top for your laptop or cups holders and things like that. Pockets on the top, pockets underneath. The center storage space that just stay there, at least for this particular spec. You can option for the bench seats again for the New Zealand version. To close this, you have to pull this, but again, New Zealand version will have power tailgate. There's no buttons over here to open the windows, but again, New Zealand version will have that. Trims on here, just plasticky. They're not premium, but again, you don't expect on a big sort of van look like that. USB-C charging underneath, which is cool. Storage over here, storage underneath. Well, that's pretty much it. Overall, my headrooms are huge. I think if you're about 2 meters tall, you are going to find yourself very comfortable over here. That's how massive this thing is, and that's the front. Again, smaller screen on this version. New Zealand version will get a bigger screen. Keyless entry and push button start is also going to be available on the New Zealand version. Electric seats plus massage function are available on this train, and seat setup is all there. Let's step inside. Nice door handle, big windscreen visors. Let's start the vehicle. So it's hard to fully start up until you engage gears, to be fair. If you go back to park, it's gonna just stall again. Steering are going to be similar to some of the ID range, and some controls on the left for your cruise controls, controls on the right for your volume, and the wheel for the dashboard and things. Gear selector, of course, is on the right, windscreen wiper and indicator is on the left. Some quick buttons for your auto lights and for your demister and defrost. Moving the center, this is the old generation, which is available on the current ID4 that's sold in New Zealand, but the new one will get a completely different screen in terms of graphics, experience and things like that. And of course, this is the UK version, so we're not going to touch that, we're not going to use anything. Some quick buttons to go to your mode, climate control. Of course, the driving mode can be selected for your eco, normal and things. Air vents underneath, wireless phone charging over here, that's sliding, that's quite deep actually. 2 USB sockets over here, but on each of the passenger and rear doors, you are going to find another USB-C charging, so it's going to be enough to charge everyone else's devices. ID.Buzz plate over here, cup holders over here, and folder thing, that's going to be closed. Open it up, and that's going to stay solid, really nice. This tunnel over here, you can actually remove this by push this lever, push it down, you can lift it up. There's 2 metal pieces underneath to hold this small tray, so it's not going to bounce around when you are moving. I believe there's storage underneath and storage on the top. Cup holders, dividers or storage dividers are over here. It's going to be quite handy for your storage space. There's small storage over here, small storage over here, big storage underneath, and storage on the top, storage over here. It's just crazy. You can even store things over there if you're not going to folding your cup holders. Again, door bins are huge. Wow, there's so many storage spaces available on this car because, well, it's huge. It's a big van, let's put that way. Anyway, maybe let's go on drive to see how this goes. I can't wait to share you my experience on driving this car. We won't be able to take it long, just a short drive around the town, around the area to see how that goes. And next thing, the visibility. Rear windscreen is actually pretty large, but we are quite far from the rear windscreen. So if someone's sitting in the middle row, at the middle, or the back row in the middle, we're going to see maybe a limited windscreen visibility, but the sides are okay, the wind mirrors are reasonably sized. The front is the weird point, and I'm gonna see that when we start driving. You are actually really far from the front windscreen. It's okay, it's not going to be a terrible thing, but yeah, it's going to be different, let's put it that way. Drive again, and we're good to go. Next, the powertrains on this vehicle. There will be a couple of different drivetrains available on the new ID.Buzz. The first one is the rear-wheel drive single motor powertrain that's going to produce 210 kilowatts of power, 560 Newton meters of torque. That's a massive amount of torque, even amount of power as well in terms of kilowatts. The second powertrain is going to be available only on the long wheelbase GTX. It's going to be producing 250 kilowatts of power and somewhere around 600 Newton meters of torque. So torque and power does have a small up from the rear wheel drive, as it's mounted a smaller, let's say, motor at the front. The motor at the front only gives about 134 Newton meters of torque. So fairly small motor for electric motor, let's put it that way. For most people, I think the rear-wheel drive will be fine, but if you really want that push and power delivery, you can go to the GTX, which will offer you a all-wheel drive experience. Today, we're driving the single-motor rear-wheel drive version. And in case you don't think 210 kilowatts is enough, I think it is enough. Don't worry, it's got plenty of punch over the line. We're going to select comfort from the start, so we can have a balanced drive from the start around town. Next is the battery. The short wheelbase ID.Buzz will come with a 84 kilowatt hour battery. That means WLTP range could be around 384 kilometers, where the long wheelbase ID.Buzz will get you a 91 kilowatt hour battery, bit more and a bit more range, just over 406 kilometers, I think, on the WLTP. The GTX will come with the same battery as the long wheelbase, but it will be a little bit reduced on the 396 kilometers, I think, on the WLTP. So overall, every single ID.Buzz you're going to see on the road will get an average of 400 kilometers on full range under WLTP conditions. Of course, WLTP isn't going to be the real word. By suggestions, you probably take a 10 to 15% deduction on that in terms of real world driving range. On the road, the vehicle feels a lot smaller than the Multivan in some way, but it feels definitely a lot bigger than the Tiguan All-Space. These are the traditional 7 to 8 seat vehicles in New Zealand market. Alright, now we're on the road. Pickup is really easy. The 210 kilowatts has no hesitation whatsoever. The pickup acceleration, and once you put foot down, it just instant go. I'm not going to test the 0 to 100 because this is kind of a UK import. It's not going to be the New Zealand version. If I will get my hands on the New Zealand version by 2025, we will see how it goes. Another thing I should mention is for the pricing, it's not announced just yet as we are publishing this video on YouTube or anywhere. We'll hopefully have the pricing in the first quarter into 2025, and the production probably will be in the second quarter of these vehicles into the New Zealand market. So you are going to see these on the road by probably mid-2025. Again, that's what we hope. Of course, if you're looking to purchase one of these vehicles, I would highly recommend my team at Ebbett Pukekohe Volkswagen. We are the authorized Volkswagen dealer in South Auckland. Now, another thing I really wish to talk about is the handling part of this vehicle. The car looks big, the van looks huge, and from the front, from the back, it is very lengthy because the wheelbase feels long too. Even the short wheelbase has a 2.9 something meters of length on the wheelbase size. So that makes this vehicle a reasonably long vehicle compared to any other cars you'd be driving on the road these days. But the handling part is exceptionally really well. I think thanks to its rear-wheel drive, it's just really easy to turn on the corners. The turning radius on the short wheelbase is just only over 11 meters. That's shockingly good compared to even some modern SUVs you're going to see on the road. And up here, pickup, so smooth. My foot was only on the pedal for about 20 to 30%, and we are easy to reach 80 Ks. And handling on these corners are surprisingly so well. I have no load at the back. That means everything at the back is empty. There's no way to distribute it. The car still feels really solid around corners, and there's a little bit fun on the driving part of it. It doesn't feel like handling a big van like this. It really drives and handles like a car, but like a tall car that sits so high on the ground. Speaking of seats are so high, the front windscreen again is a very unique thing you are going to deal with. The wheel arch and all that things is so far at the front, it's not even close to the driver's seat. Not only that makes the windscreen huge, you're going to see everything in front of it, but also makes your distance between the steering and the windscreen really long, really large too. That means to see at the front, it's going to be quite tricky from the start. Although you are really close at the front, you just need to watch it from different angles and things like that. The good thing about New Zealand version, you are getting the 360 area view as standard. So yeah, no stress. It's got the camera working for you, and of course parking sensors working for you too. Noise level on these drive conditions, it's going to be a little bit noisier than some of the traditional SUVs you're going to see, let's say Tiguan or Tiguan Allspace, even the Touareg. But being a people mover, this is totally acceptable. When you drive anything like a people mover, you are going to see this road noise, things like that. But the suspension works really nicely. It's really solid in some way, and you can feel that the steering is hardened. It's got enough weight on it, it's got enough torque on it, distribution is fair among all the corners. Let's do the mode, go to sport, pick up 1, 2, 3, and look how easy that is even on this rough seal. That's the cool part of the Volkswagen ID.Buzz. It's a fun driving electric van, but at the same time it's spacious for 5 to 6 people inside the vehicle, or you can use 2 people and all the luggage at the back or the cargo at the back. There's another mode called B mode. We are going to use a little bit more regenerative braking, so the car will slow it down to generate more power back to the battery, but you don't have to use it all the time. When it's standard, it's always on drive. It's not a full one-pedal driving experience, so yeah, depends on what you like. You may not like it, you may like it, so you can press that to change whenever you like. Other than that, this is surprisingly a good van for my driving experience. I really enjoy that. That will be our short drive for the ID.Buzz. Again, UK spec. We are going to see the New Zealand spec soon, so hopefully I'll do another video when the van comes into the country. What do you think about the ID.Buzz? Please let me know in the comments. Would you be interested in buying one in New Zealand or Australia? Do let me know as well. I'd love to see your feedbacks. I'd love to see your opinions on this van. It's not going to be a cheap electric van, I'll be honest with you, but at the same time, it's one of the coolest vehicles you are going to see on the market soon in 2025. Thanks for watching. I will see you next video.